Oh, my name's Fox Ryan. So again, I'm at Fox. Hopefully I'm not clipping the audio. Anyways, this is episode 5 and 6? 7 and 8 of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Which, again, not warning, what is it? Disclaimer. I'm watching this through a third party because I don't want to give Disney any money. Because, again, they cut transphobic episodes, and the voice actor for Spider-Man in this show said he didn't want the show to be too woke. So dog whistling the shit out of things. Also, the reason why they cut the trans episodes was because a certain party won the presidency. So, again, disclaimer, I wouldn't be supporting, I don't want to be supporting Disney, and I would recommend watching it through any third-party ways you can, because it is a pretty damn good show. But also, yeah. And also, it's already been cleared for 3 seasons, so hopefully, Disney could wrap their shit up and, do better within the next few years that this show comes out and not be pieces of shit. In any case, this is episode 7 and 8 of Spider-Man, which, holy shit, did things happen. Also, I'll bring that up later. But, alright, let's go through the notes here real quick. Okay, so Peter is having issues with Nico not being able to talk, not talking to him, along with eventually after a fight with Scorpion, actually believing he's not good enough right now. When I saw this image, and I was like, ah, damn it, he's gonna give up being Spider-Man, isn't he? No, it's more, I guess, imagery of him giving up this suit, the Future Foundation suit. And also, I gotta remember to say this at least the end. Actually, no, I want to say it now. Okay, so, I'll get to the actual, okay, so, My Adventures with Superman. Love that show. MCU Spider-Man. Love that too. I love how some of the biggest problems people had with those shows are in this one, and all I've seen are good things about this show. And again, I say problems in quotations because they're not problems, they're great. Stuff along the lines of in My Adventures with Superman, there were a lot of people who were giving shit about all of the villains having Kryptonian technology, or all of it tied to all their powers were tied in some way to the Kryptonian technology that was scattered about on Earth, and allowing for all the supernatural shit and superpowers to happen. Okay. In this, literally every villain is literally tied to Otto Octavius selling his inventions to all these criminals, so that way they could all have powers to become stuff. So there's a tie-in with that. Another thing, so that there's already a big one there. Another thing, My Adventures are MCU Spidey. Oh my god, the shit people give Peter for using Tony Stark's technology to make his suits. Especially because, again, like in Far From Home, he makes the suit using just a 3D printer pretty much to give him his suit and all that stuff. And even then, before that, he got his suit from Stark. He got the Stark suit and all this other stuff together. And people still to this day will give the MCU shit for that. For some stupid ass reason. Even though Spidey has been given suits all throughout the comic book runs and multiple times. And hell, his original outfit wasn't red and blue. It was red and black. Him turning red and blue was actually a much recent thing after shading the black with blue made everyone think it was red and blue, so they changed it. But there are even some cases where they show a younger Peter when he was in high school or when he was first coming Spider-Man, they show him with the suit being red and black where the blue is. Okay. So, and in this, he gets his suit, he gets every suit except for the homemade one from either Osborn or A. Osborn, including, spoilers, his iconic suit, which, oh my god, I'm excited for that. So, if you ever see bullshit on the internet where they're like, oh, just understand, it's all trash, it's all garbage, screw those people. Like, holy shit. Like, if you're gonna complain, like, this is people complaining, like, legitimately, this is people complaining about Moon Knight, which, again, I bring this up and it pisses them off. When you bring up Moon Knight, the MCU version, and people will go, oh, it was not faithful to the original comics, and all this stuff. And I'm like, do you like the Raimi Spider-Man? Because that shit is not nowhere near as, like, freaking comic book accurate as people want to say it is. Oh, but he gets the spirit. Shut up. God. In any case, back to this show. Sorry. Tangents. I love Spidey. So, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Pretty much, Peter's trying to make up with Nico, as well as Harry, who Harry actually does make up with Nico, going to her house, inviting her out to go eat some food when she's hungry, and try to apologize, eventually even teaching her how to drive his car, which then leads to a car race, which also leads to Nico's necklace glowing, and apparently she has some kind of powers. Styro had informed me that Nico is actually from the Runaways, which I didn't know, and I never watched the show Runaways, so I didn't know that, but she seems to have powers. Cool. But, yeah, but also while that's going on, Lonnie is with the 1/10 hiding out in that base until eventually the Scorpion attack. Well, Pearl actually gets a call from from his brother and tells him where Lonnie is. Oh god, I'm jumping around. Okay, so pretty much she goes there, there's guns, money, and she's like, what are you doing here, Lonnie? And Lonnie's like, well, shit, I'm trying to, I'm hiding low because the guy's trying to kill me, and also because, this isn't, like, I'm like, anyways, like, he's like, I'm trying, like, he was just kill him or whatever, and eventually the Scorpion attacks, and kills a few of the 1/10, as well as almost kills Big Don. This guy, Tombstone, tries to fight Gargan. Gargan knocks him back with his scorpion tail, which also Harry finds, or Norman finds out that the suit, and Norman and Peter find out that the suits, all of the suits and weaponry, all that stuff, are all using gamma radiation, which Peter says, the gamma radiation is unstable, it's super powerful, but unstable, and also, like, it could fuse to her skin, which, at the very end, we do see Scorpion wearing the suit, and it kind of overcharges it, and, like, it seems to merge with his skin, which, yeah, that's the whole thing with Scorpion, that his suit gets stuck to him. At least it's only stuck on his chest. There's stuff like the original 94 one where the suit is stuck to his entire body, and then you just kind of have questions like, how does he pee? But at least it's when it's only the chest piece, I guess. And shoes, actually. So he's probably stuck in those shoes as well. But yeah, so pretty much Gargan attacks. But also, before all of that even happens, again, Peter tries to talk with Nico. Nico kind of just runs off. She tries to talk with, he then talks with Pearl, who's also having issues, obviously, with Lonnie. And there's a really good thing about this show that I like is, it understands this. It's funny, because, again, the entire few episodes you've probably been seeing me watching, if you watched all these, I have been bringing up, honestly, how a secret identity from your loved ones is shit. And that it's bad. And I'm like, this show knows it. I'm like, yes, thank you. Holy shit. like where you go, what was it? Pearl straight up says, we're supposed to be partners. How am I supposed to help if he doesn't tell me what he's going through? And it's like, yeah. Yeah, like Pearl literally is explaining why the secret identity is bad. And like she even says, I decide what I should be able to handle. It's like, yeah, like holy shit, yes. Because like that's the thing, like a big thing in this show is obviously the secret identity thing, as well as like, oh, I'm doing it to protect them, and even eventually in like these episodes, like Aunt May kind of brings up like, you hiding stuff is still hurting us, like, and it's like, yeah, like that's the whole thing. It's like, what the hell, man? So I like that the show's actually bringing that up. But anyways, while they're trying to track down Otto with the gamma radiation, figuring out that it's gamma radiation through Peter learning about like the this shelling that's protecting like the core and all that stuff, they track down Gargan to the 1/10. From there, He then has to, Peter fights, Gargan, webs him up and everything, saves everyone, everyone gets out, they start fighting. Gargan actually is still able to get the upper hand on him, though there's some just really cool things I love about Peter is obviously it seems like he must have some of his spider sense, or at least a little bit of it, because there's a point where he's like back to the wall and he kind of goes whoop as the blade just stabs like almost over his head. I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. But yeah, pulls the blade out. Peter's fighting, but eventually he does web up Gargan using up all of his webbing, which this is a good reason for web shooters as well. Also, in the first episode, I messed up and I said, I meant to say organic, giving Peter organic webs is bad. Instead, I said web shooter. I'm like, nope, I messed that up. I just realized that when I'm editing the video, but whatever. In any case, so Peter, sorry, I'm trying to remember. So anyways, Peter runs out of web shooter fluid, which I'm like, there you go. There's another plot point you could do of when he runs out of web shooter fluid, which something organic webs can't really do. I guess you can say, like, oh, I've extended too much stuff. I need to eat more, I guess. I don't know. In either case, he runs out of web fluid. Gargan is able to break out and actually beat the shit out of Peter and eventually even stab. And eventually, but when he's webbed up, he tells Norman, oh, okay, I think we're done here. And Norman takes off his head thing, and throughout the entire fight, Norman is not paying attention to Peter, and eventually just focusing specifically on trying to find Otto. Eventually, he takes out the earpiece, drops it. Peter gets in mortal peril, and only he realizes it after Peter's suit gets stabbed through, and Norman's like, your suit shouldn't be able to get stabbed through, and he's like, well, no shit, yeah, it did. Ow. Eventually, he's like, oh shit, gets back in there. Peter gets mortally wounded, looks like Scorpion's out to kill him. Smoke comes down, and down comes the Goblin Glider, and I'm like, oh shit! Goblin Glider comes, picks up Peter, flies him off. Gargan's like, I will kill you later, Naranja! And, Naranja is orange. Aranya is spider, I believe. So anyways, flies off. Peter gets taken to a special medical wing where he gets treated for his injuries, but Norman even says your healing is super fast. So, and I think it took 2 days for him to heal up completely from a stab wound through his arm, or mostly, and hit a bruised eye. Which also he comes home all beat up, and May's like, "What the hell?" And that's when she brings up keeping secrets is still hurting your loved ones. What was the other thing? Oh, they took Peter's blood. And it's like, oh yeah, medical thing, yeah. And I'm like, bullshit, I already know what's going on with this. They're testing to see if they can they can replicate his powers. And also at the very end, when Peter does eventually, and also Peter or Norman says maybe we should end our internship, I guess, here, because I need Spider-Man at his best. And he's pretty much telling Peter that he has to go all out. He needs to stop throwing his punches and just pretty much give in to his power, which, mind you, one of the main reasons why I did pick up the Superior Spider-Man trades is because of I was reading through it one summertime and when I had nothing to do between work, and I was reading through some comics, and in I think Barnes & Noble. It might have been Borders at the time. I think it was Barnes & Noble. Read through comics, and I picked up that one. And there's a point where you see that's Superior Spider-Man is when Dr. Otto Octavius takes over Peter's body for a extended period of time, and Peter's dead. Not the body's dead, but he dies in Otto's old body. Peter and him in Peter's body just beats the shit out of some guys, and you just see blood, and you see Peter's body / Otto's has claws almost. I'm like, oh my god, this is cool. I like the shit out of that. Giving Spider-Man claws is such a good thing. If you want to give him mutations, don't give him organic webs. Give him claws. Dude, that's so cool. Anyways, Spider-Man. But yeah, so pretty much Peter gets beaten up and he's kind of debating whether he's Spider-Man, and also his suit is destroyed. His new Foundation suit is destroyed. So they should have actually had his glass broken, because he kind of had the glass broken almost. Suit is destroyed, and Norman's like, well, you have a suit right now. And maybe we should end our thing if you can't be the Spider-Man I need you to be. And I'm pretty sure, and like eventually when he escapes, he turns out like his formula and all that stuff that he was doing with Dr. Connor stuff, they were able to create a generator that was able to generate power. So it's like they invented a new energy source. That's kind of like the arc reactor. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh shit, is it the power to harness the sun? Uh-oh. They do bring that up though, because at one point they're trying to bring up like what are the different materials that Otto could be using to generate power. And at one point Peter goes, solar maybe? And he goes, I doubt the Otto could figure out how to harness the power of the sun. And I'm like, that's a funny little reference. But also, even like when Norman was trying to X out like where all the gamma radiation was probably coming from, where Otto is, one of them was like, it was like 325, which I'm not entirely sure. That's probably a number that means something. But it was like 325 out of 616. And I'm like, okay. Alright, that's pretty good. So that happens. Peter's having kind of like nightmares and visions of like, oh shit, like what am I gonna do? Like I'm losing Nico and all this other stuff. And Nico does bring up too, like when she's talking with Harry, which also the Drag Race was funny, and like this one girl calls her Beetlejuice, and what's his name? Cleve, the guy who's always recording shit. He's like, well, actually, you didn't mean to call her Beetlejuice. You meant to call her Lydia, who's from Beetlejuice. And he's like, shut up! And eventually later, when this girl does lose the race that they're drag racing with, the girl's like, God damn, Lydia! And I'm like, all right, she learned. That's funny. 326, right. Peter gonna give up being Spider-Man? Nope. Drew blood. But also, okay. So when they created the energy source, at one point, like, Peter tries to say, like, I think I already failed Dr. Connors, all this stuff, or it failed Norman, and Dr. Connors like, well, you didn't. She does say, oh, was your little extracurriculars with Norman the reason why this place become a zoo? And there's a bunch of, like, lizards and all this other stuff there, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably gonna... Actually, that's probably how they're gonna tie that together. Where a lot of the tech-based villains are gonna be based off of using Otto's technology, but... So, like, Rhino... Like, at one point, the chameleon pops up, but he's wearing, like, a mask to hide his face, which is... If that's not a thing to make him change his, like, appearance, it's really weird that you just thought, oh, yeah, I'm gonna put on this mask, this'll hide me. Like you're making more... You're way more, like, noticeable like that than just a dude who just shaved his mustache and beard. Anyways, which I'm pretty sure that was the guy that was Rhino's friend, which, yeah, it was. I'm trying to think. Like, okay, so all the tech villains are probably going to have the technology from Otto stuff be what makes them, as the villains, where... In next season, we'll probably have more mutated characters, which that's when we're going to get Dr. Connors becoming the Lizard, but it's all going to be from Norman studying Spider-Man's DNA because of the blood samples they took, and they're going to be trying to see if they could figure out that mutagen to then create all of the villains that we know of. Also, another thing that they gave shit about in the MCU again, all of the villains are tied technologically to Otto. In MCU, a lot of the villains' technology is tied to either Stark Industries or the Shatari. And I don't know, people get shitty about. I don't know, it's so stupid. In any case, okay, what else is there? Oh, at one point, Otto is just playing games on his thing. He's like, I'm doing important research, and his lackey. I don't know. That guy might become the Hobgoblin. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Or actually, he could be Carnage. I'm not entirely sure. He was a redhead. He could be Carnage. He didn't say his name was Cletus, but apparently Cletus has changed his name before. In any case, he says that he's gonna bring him soup. He's like, oh, whatever. And eventually, is it the IDF? I can't remember. Pretty much these cops come in to arrest Otto after Norman tips off. Ross comes in. Otto is able to use his octopus arms from like the ceilings to grab them and a bunch of technology and all this stuff while dancing around. I'm like, all right, I like this version of Otto Octavius way more than most versions because it's showing why he's kind of a threat. Because eventually, he's intelligent, but not just by building shit. Like, even like how he's fighting is very intelligent. He's like, oh, these guys are nothing to me. I know how to manipulate them and everything. And he manipulates his way all the way through. Literally at one point, he's dancing and all this stuff. And what it is funny, that when he spins a stick and he actually knocks himself in the head with it. But, he dances his way through this entire fight. And eventually he has all the guns of a SWAT team on him with Ross there. He's like, they're like, surrender. He's like, yeah, right. And he's about to walk away. And the only reason he gets caught and the only reason he gives up is because out of the goddamn sky, Iron Man flies out and slams down and goes, oh, no, stop right there. And I was like, oh shit. Okay, now this is a problem. Okay. I'm like, all right, that's kind of funny. Which I will say, though, because of My Hero, I really do like the repulsors more now. But anyways, God. But yeah, so... Yeah, there was that whole thing, and then pretty much Peter, Aunt May... Actually, I actually noticed too, Aunt May and, like, Aunt May, Otto's assistants, as well, I think that's probably the only two, are some of the only characters who actually have irises. Everyone else has black eyes. They're like the only few who have actually iris eyes, which I was like, okay, that's cool. But May pretty much says like that she's sad that, you know, Ben isn't there, and that if Ben was there, he would have a role model and someone to talk to about all this. And eventually he goes back to Norman to tell him that, and Norman tells him like, you know, with great power comes great respect. And it's like, all right. I'm like, all right. That's a pretty, you know, show like the evil version of that. Which also, I am kind of also hoping like, if they do go with like the mutagen next season, which again, Spider-Gwen is going to be in there, either I'm hoping they either do that via, I kind of honestly hope they don't give her spider powers. I hope they go the symbiote route. Even though her suit looks somewhat man-made, it would be cool if maybe they went more the symbiote route, which I want to see Spider-Gwen with the symbiote, because Spider-Gwen is one of, you know, she's not the main thing, and some people are getting mad, but whatever, I don't give a shit. Spider-Gwen is one of the coolest spider people. One of the major reasons is she actually has a healthy relationship with her symbiote. She doesn't pull a Peter and rip Venom off when, spoilers for anyone who doesn't know past 94, Venom wasn't evil at the beginning. And that's not like a new development thing. Even back then, when Peter originally turned it off, the only reason why he ripped it off is because Venom was a little bit harsher when he was trying to literally protect the city using Peter while he slept. Pretty much he was trying to protect the city and let Peter sleep, and piloted Peter's body to do that. And Venom was a good guy. He was trying to help his friend, and then Peter misunderstanding that and ripping Venom off is what created the monster known as Venom. And yes, I'm calling the symbiote Venom because it's the Venom symbiote. Shut up. But yeah, so the Venom symbiote. So yeah, like that's not a new thing. Like even there's a point where the Venom symbiote saves Peter from dying, and the symbiote looks at like worried before it slinks off. Like that's an actual thing from those original comics. That's just not a new thing that happened. The Venom symbiote was a good thing. It didn't have no corrupting ability bullshit that 94 added to it, which now everyone thinks is a thing, which no, it's not. If anything, if you want a more accurate Venom to the comics, go watch the Venom movies. That is actually more accurate to the comics than 90% of most Venom media released after the 94 cartoon. Yeah. And that's the one without Spider-Man, and that is more accurate. In any case. Here comes the Spider-Man. Also, I haven't brought out the intro. The intro's pretty decent. The intro's pretty fun. It's not my favorite rap or anything. It's no Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, either the 2013 one or the 2003 one. Like, it's not no rap like that, but it's a decent rap. But, yeah. This episode was fun. These episodes were pretty good. And then also at the very end when Peter, you know, he's trying, I gotta figure out what I want to do with Spider-Man. He's talking to Harry. And at one point Harry brings up like, well, you know, I don't know if he told him to listen or not, but I know that Peter said, like, go back to throwing your imaginary hoops. And he's like, no, I mean, like, you have to figure out what Spider-Man wants, what he has to do. And that's when they hear the crime alert go off. They're like, well, Spider-Man has to go out there and fight crime and all this stuff. And Harry's like, well, then, why don't you go do it? And he goes, well, I don't have a suit. And he's like, well, yeah, you do. And he goes, takes him to the thing, doors open up, and you don't see it yet, but Harry's like, yeah, I took some notes from those books you would, from your sketches and all that stuff, and Peter's like, Harry, it's perfect. He's like, yeah, it is. And then he says, go get him, Tiger. So it's confirmed, Harry Osborn is MJ in this universe. They're both redheads. But yeah, so now, and then in his glasses, you see the spiders, the original spider suit. Which I love this suit, don't get me wrong, but holy shit do I hate the motherfuckers who say, like, Peter should only be in this suit ever, and it should be exactly the same every single goddamn time. No, shut up. The Stark suit is probably one of my favorite versions of a live-action Spider-Man suit. Mind you, I do like the Amazing Spider-Man's versions of the suits. Those are really actually good, especially the first one is very good for a dark one. The second one very much is more for a classic one. I hate the Raimi suits. The elevated silver webbing is so stupid, and he has the worst black suit imaginable because it's just the same one, but it's the same as the original suit, but black. It's so stupid. But I do like the black. I do like what Spectacular did, where it made it where it looked like his original suit, and then it mutated into the better suit. And even the same thing with the Spider-Man 2 game. So yeah, got his original suit back, or his new original suit. And I'm gonna guess it's gonna look pretty badass when I eventually see it, because I've only seen the front. But yeah. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome, I think. But yeah. Spidey looks badass. And I'm not sure what else I can add here. Spidey looks badass. It's going really good. I will say though, I did go, yeah, when Spidey swung in and kicked Scorpion. I'm like, yeah, I love that. But yeah, definitely want to see what's gonna happen next. And also it's cool that they're using gamma radiation out for it. Also, Otto was buying vibranium. And also the 101st, 1001st, whatever the hell the gang it is, they're going to try to go to Otto's place and try to get some tech, I guess, to steal it, which I'm guessing that's where Tombstone's trying to get his impenetrable skin. And I'm trying to think what else is there to add to this. Also, like, another thing I actually really do like about this show, too, is the showing Lonnie's game. Oh, God, the biggest thing possible. Lonnie being a mirror to Peter. Because Lonnie hasn't really interacted with Peter all this much, but when this episode kind of solidified it, that Lonnie is a mirror image of Peter, which, a mirror character is how I put it, which, again, there's probably some other phrase that someone else has gotten up for it, whatever, I don't care. I call them mirror characters, where it's the character that shows the main character, it's their shadow, it's their opposite. It can be shown they can be done a few ways, whether it be a character who has the same powers or similar as story, or just like Hunter is Hunter is a mirror character of Luz in the Owl House, both being witches that weren't born with magic and learn an alternative way to using magic, but one uses glyphs while the other one uses magitech. Like, stuff like that. Or like even in the show Limitless, where the guy takes the pill and becomes super smart, and eventually he does get a mirror image in, I forgot the other guy, who was like actually military trained and everything like that, and him taking the pill makes him even stronger and better while also being smarter. It's like, oh shit. So those two are a mirror image of each other. Those who are a mirror image of each other, where Lonnie is also hiding his quote-unquote secret identity of being part of the gang and all this other stuff, and because he's hiding his secrets and because he's doing all this, it's hurting his loved ones. It's hurting the people he's supposedly trying to protect. So, Peter, when he confronts him, he sees this, and it's very much him seeing what he's doing to everyone else. And that's pretty brilliant. I love that. That's really smart. I think that's really freaking cool. I hope we get more stuff like that, because that was so smart. Like, okay, I can dig with this. And Peter gets to see, like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't hide my identity from my loved ones. That's pretty awesome. Also, we're seeing like how the Sokovia Accords affected other things on a smaller level, which is really badass as well. Anyways, this is good. I like this a lot. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Share all of my other videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. I do love shit like, again, Daredevil popped up a few episodes ago, and then Iron Man popped up, which we still haven't figured out what Daredevil was doing there. And I feel like we're probably not going to figure out till season 2 or 3, but anyways, thanks for watching. Check out my videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. Definitely can't wait to see what's going to happen next. And again, Disney is not the nice. See you later. Here comes the Spider-Man. God, this is freaking... Disney Infinity had some really decent figures. Like, holy shit.